Make that unhappy birthday. This little guy face plants as he turns 1. Guess he's just not that into birthdays.
Happy birthday, dear Teddy.
The infamous ice car in upstate New York has been freed by a tow truck, leaving a shell behind. Justin Yellen left his car parked overnight at a Hamburg restaurant. When he returned the next day, he found the vehicle completely encased in ice by waves from Lake Erie. Photos of the carsicle went viral, with many thinking he'd have to wait until the summer to retrieve his vehicle. On Wednesday, a plan was hatched to liberate the frozen Mitsubishi Lancer from its icy prison.
We're going to start with a lot of glass salt and possibly bring down a hot water steam jetty, like a hot water pressure washer, and try and melt the ice around it.
Once the car was freed, it was taken to an auto shop to defrost.
Sure, Willy Wonka's chocolate factory is a world of pure imagination.
There's no life I know to compare with pure imagination.
But organizers who tried to recreate the colorful candy scene from the movie in what was advertised as Willy's Chocolate Experience, more or less delivered a Fire Festival cheese sandwich.
My little girl, she's only 4. She was dressed up as Willy Wonka, and she was quite disappointed.
Parents and ticket holders like this dad were stunned to see what was promised, like in these ad photos, was anything but. Turns out the location in Scotland where this event was being held was sparsely decorated, a few balloons and things.
My 2 oldest boys, they found it funny. They laughed it off.
Organizers wrote an apology on Facebook that has since been deleted, saying they would offer refunds.
An abandoned McDonald's on an island in Alaska has turned into a time capsule. The island of Adak in the Bering Sea used to be home to an army base that was built in 1942. It was decommissioned in the early 90s. Photographer Chris Luckhart documents places long after they've been abandoned. Finding this throwback was a pleasant surprise.
And the promo signs, interestingly, have gotten a lot of attention online on the drive-through menu, which still has the original prices from 1994, which were still 2 to 3 times higher than mainland US and Canada, just because it's a remote location.
Luckhart says the remaining residents of Adak are enjoying their quiet corner of the earth and are welcoming of visitors. He says he wants his work to spark curiosity about a place's history and its potential future.
I'm looking into the past with a lens in the present and thinking about what the future development of a place might be.
An animator could not have drawn this baby antelope to be any cuter. This is a biba. She's a deek calf, which is the world's smallest species of antelope. They only weigh between 6 and 13 pounds and are native to Africa. Keepers at the San Diego Zoo say Abiba is spending most of her time nursing, but is also learning the ropes from her mom Chloe and dad Shaggy. An armadillo decided he liked this man's jeans. He liked them so much, he thought he'd latch on. Kachi, the 3-banded armadillo, is a resident at Indiana's Potawatomi Zoo. He showed his possessive side at a local school's literacy night by curling himself around stuffed toys and even clothing.
She kept saying, "Please help me, Miss Crossing Guard, please help me."
She may be tiny at 4'8", but Crossing Guard Adrienne Young has a lot of power in her punch.
Superheroes come in small packages.
She helped free an 8-year-old girl from being kidnapped on a California school playground by a stranger who was later arrested.
And I told her to hold on to me as tight as she can, do not let go, because both of us was very small and the lady was bigger than me.
The child's mother, forever grateful.
If it wouldn't be for her, I wouldn't know where my daughter would be right now.
Adrienne was honored for her heroism.
She told the crossing lady, "Hey, this is not my mom. Like, why is she taking me away?"
A courageous crossing guard whose job doesn't stop just when the kids make it across the street.
Why does this bride look so distressed? Could it be typical wedding day jitters? Not this time. She's suffering from an allergic reaction to her bouquet. The culprit was this flower called Snow on the Mountain. What Christine Miller didn't know is that it can be as poisonous as poison ivy. With her ceremony approaching, Christine's face broke out in a nasty red and bumpy rash. Her eyes swelled shut. Christine didn't want to miss her own wedding, so she put on her gown and went on with the ceremony. She walked down the aisle to her soon-to-be husband, John, in absolute agony.
You may kiss your bride.
She put on a brave face for the guests, but after exchanging vows, Christine and John were heading to the hospital. That nurse is administering a shot in her rear end. They were determined to go back to their wedding. You can see her in her PJs for their first dance and when they cut their cake.
15-year-old Azzy Robinson was the target of bullying a few years ago, and it tore him apart.
He became reclusive and would sleep all the time.
Everything changed when Azzy switched to a new school, Laverne High School in Tennessee. His new classmates were aware that he'd been bullied, so they wanted to do something nice for him. So, two buddies walked in carrying gifts. Azzy had no idea what was going on, and the moment he saw new Nike sneakers that his classmates had chipped in to buy, the tears started flowing.
This is nothing, Azzy. All the stuff you've done for everyone in this class, you deserve way more than this. Thank you.
But there's more. Another classmate gave him new clothes, and then came a warm pat on the back.
Those tears were pure joy. Almost proud to be me for once, because they wanted to do something for me like that.
When a bus driver in Milwaukee, Wisconsin saw a child walking around by herself, she knew something was up.
Where are you going?
Tiffany Lee thought the child might be lost, so she pulled over and brought the girl on board the bus.
See, honey.
She waited with her while a police officer could come help. The city's transit system says the girl told the officer she lived nearby but didn't know how to get home. That's when he took her by the hand and helped her find her house. Now Lee is being commended for her kindness and willingness to help the child. Bus driver Denise Wilson saw a child walking around the streets alone at night with no coat or shoes. It turns out the boy wandered out of his house that night and also couldn't find his way home. Both children were safely returned to their parents thanks to these ladies. After all, helping people make their way home is what bus drivers do best.
You're in the middle of nowhere, rural Kansas, the site of an abandoned nuclear missile silo. Armed security patrol the entrance to a Doomsday bunker that's reserved for the wealthy elite. These 16,000-pound doors lock you inside. We're heading deep below the surface of the earth into an underground bunker like no other.
We are more than 100 feet underground right now.
12 luxurious condos exist here with fireplaces, high-end appliances, jacuzzis, and look at this. It's a swimming pool with a slide and waterfall. Other common areas include a movie theater, rock climbing wall, and shooting range. There's even a farm that grows all the fresh fruits and vegetables you'll need. The bunker runs on power sources like wind and diesel generators. The price tag for this 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo, $2.3 million.
What a cute puppy! Those eyes, that mouth, the little button nose. Wait, what? It's actually 3 little doggies cuddled under a blanket. How cute is that?
A high five and a hug. A 4-year-old gave Texas police officers all the gratitude his little body could muster after he was saved from choking.
Jason, let him on this.
Officers Dalton Schroeder and Jason Wright are being called heroes after they responded to the desperate pleas of a frightened mother.
He has asthma. He has asthma.
Body camera video shows Officer Schroeder retrieving an anti-choking device to use on the little boy.
Okay, buddy.
Doctors determined the little boy was choking on his own saliva. Thankfully, he is expected to make a full recovery.
You okay, baby?
I remember hearing the glass crack. That's the last thing I remember until I woke up in the ambulance.
In 2018, comedian Jason Sines survived a terrible accident. It happened on a date.
We had gone out to see a show, came back to my apartment building, went up on the rooftop. I told her that you could kind of see the Hollywood sign, and we leaned up against a skylight together, and we both fell through it. I had landed on the staircase, and I got severely paralyzed at that moment. I don't remember hitting, I don't remember falling.
Jason was rushed to the hospital. He was paralyzed below the waist.
and I knew the severity of the injury.
Now he talks about his accident during his shows.
I think it's in my DNA to use humor to get through tough times. And I believe it's the best medicine. I know it's the best medicine. It's a story that I think people really resonate with.
This traffic obstruction met its match in this Missouri State Trooper.
Driving at 4 minutes ago, US 63 northbound for H. Henry.
The State Highway Patrol says Trooper Isaiah LeMasters never misses a leg day at the gym. So he was the right person to handle this issue. When body weight alone wouldn't budge the bale, he put his deadlift skills to the test. He was able to lift it enough to get his knee under the hay and build on that momentum, pushing the hay bale on its side, but most importantly, out of the way of traffic. Video of his impressive show of strength has been getting millions of views from social media users.
Special attention, Boone County. Driving at 4 minutes ago, US 63 northbound for H. Henry.
Hopefully, they're all inspired to see what can happen when you never miss a leg day.
Michael, please, show me your hands.
To say this suspect was caught off guard is an understatement. Police in Lakewood, Colorado released this body cam of an arrest of a man wanted for burglary. They say a drone was used to track him to the location. He may have let his guard down too much, unaware that police were hot on his trail. When cops opened the door to the bathroom, they found the suspect in a compromising position.
Hands up! Hands up!
Pants down and sitting on the toilet. And police were not about to let him finish what he started, demanding he surrender immediately.
Walk towards me. Sir.
The department said on Facebook, quote, "While we see a lot of things in the line of duty, we had no clue what awaited us this time."
Michael, please, show me your hands.
Authorities in Florida are looking for the driver of a car that they suspect intentionally drove a motorcyclist off the highway. It happened in the early hours of March 8th on I-75 in Sumter County. The Florida Highway Patrol says the suspect was driving a gray or silver Honda Civic, and anyone with information is asked to call FHP or Crime Stoppers.
Powerful stories. Impactful investigations.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times.
Yeah.
What? And a little bit of fun.
Your spear's in the pool.
On Inside Edition streaming.
Deborah and Scott Center have a beautiful new roof. The only problem, it's by accident.
We had an entire roofing crew show up at our house, trucks in the driveway, front driveway, back driveway, Dipsy dumpster, and they start going to work completely tearing off our roof. The only problem was we didn't order a roof.
It took a few hours for employees to notice the mistake.
Somebody had texted numbers and had inverted 2 numbers and sent the crew to the wrong location, to our house. And that's when we got a pretty frantic phone call.
The blunder cost Graco Roofing and Constructions a pretty penny.
They came over here a couple days after they finished it, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to come and personally apologize."
We totally feel like we won the roof lottery for sure.
She fell into the arms of an angel.
I yelled up to her, "Let go, I promise I'll catch you."
Matthew Howard is the brave dad who caught the 14-year-old girl.
Her neck is stuck.
You've probably seen the harrowing video. She's dangling off the sky ride at Six Flags near Lake George in upstate New York. She was hanging by her neck, her terrified little brother sitting there helpless, screaming for help. Matthew and his daughter Leanne stood right under the girl as she hung on for dear life. The girl just couldn't hold on, but Matthew Howard was ready.
When she released, I just braced my body and poof, here she comes.
Both Matthew and the girl were knocked out cold, but only for a moment. They were both taken to a local hospital.
She's in good spirits. It's gonna be, a road of recovery, but she's gonna be okay.
To the rescue! This deputy grabbed the canine's leash just as he jumped over the guardrail in Brevard County, Florida. In a split second, this could have had a different outcome. The fall would have been 75 feet down into water, but she used all her might to pull the canine to safety. Watch this car go airborne. Dash cam from an Oregon State Police car caught the terrifying moment a distracted driver lost control. Thankfully, the driver was able to remove themselves from the car and was taken to the hospital.
Ouch! What could go wrong when a dog pulls a kid in a wagon? Well, for one thing, this.
When packages get delivered, it's best to take them inside immediately so thieves can't get them. But be warned, sometimes the thief is a furry neighbor.
Mom is filming her son playing bouncy ball with baby. Precious memories to last a lifetime. Who's that? That's no dog. That's a photo hog.
What's Lucy doing?
Lucy.
This golden retriever is lost in doggy dreamland. He takes a sleepy stretch. Whoops. Now, that's a rude awakening.
Could he be the chillest dude out there? Watch as this homeowner casually sips a cup of coffee on his porch, all while cops chase a fleeing suspect right through his backyard. Sirens are blaring. A police car even rams into his tree. With all this going on in his own backyard, could he be more casual? Here's Mr. Chill. His name is Michael Bartram. He and his wife, Crystal, live in Charleston, West Virginia.
He's just a very calm person. He's always been a very calm person. He literally does not raise his voice. He does not get excited over anything.
This 24-year-old model decided to tattoo her eyeball. Kat Gallagher of Ottawa, Canada, wanted to tint the white of her eye, but the next morning, her eye was swollen shut. Despite getting steroid drops and antibiotics to treat the infection, Gallagher continues to suffer blurry vision. She might even lose her eyesight entirely.
I just really, really hope that people take this as a lesson, and that's all I want. I learned it. I had to learn it the hard way, and I would hate to watch anybody else go through anything like this again.
Now she's warning the public about the dangers of ocular ink injections.
Don't risk it. Don't risk it. Don't risk it.
A piece of film history, thought to be lost forever, was found by Kansas City filmmaker Gary Huggins in a parking lot auction.
So I spent $20 on the stack, and when I got home, I discovered that at the bottom of the stack was something called the Pill Pounder.
The movie stars the legendary Clara Bow,
which led me to believe that maybe it was missing, but it just seemed impossible. It was Clara Bow. Clara Bow's biographer called it a miracle. He'd been looking for this since the 80s when he first wrote this book about Clara Bow. Described it as like finding a lost Picasso. And it was totally pristine, beautiful, perfect. Clara Bow was one of the biggest icons of silent cinema. She's always been sort of an icon of like free living and not giving a damn about what people think. It was a big find. I needed it the most, so it came to me. Clara Bow was looking out for me.
How's this for a transformation? An Aladdin sleeping bag to puffer jacket. Nostalgia for the 90s is so hot right now, one millennial is taking vintage finds and turning them into old school jackets.
Are inspired by like jackets that I used to wear when I was a kid.
Keenan Holcomb from Canada started sewing after losing his job 4 years ago. His mission's to make and sell clothing that you can't find in stores using thrifty finds.
The first one I ever made was a Mickey and Minnie puffer jacket out of a sleeping bag. It has like them calling each other on phone. That one sold right away.
What has been the most you've sold a jacket for?
The most I've sold a jacket for is $500. It really depends. Like all my prices are based off of the cost of materials and the time that it takes me to make it.
So far, his favorite has been this X-Men jacket made from a 1992 sleeping bag.
I never thought it would take off like it is.
The bride wore white and the groom wore... Wait, what is that? Jacob Wright thought it would be cool to wear his new Apple goggles during his wedding. Video of the bride and groom dancing with the goggles went viral. And as you'd expect, he's also coming in for lots of criticism.
So, Gail, you wouldn't go for that at your next wedding?
No.
Okay.
So what did bride Cabrini really think of her husband's wedding day stunt?
When I look at some of those pictures, though, you look a little bit, how shall I say, disgusted.
No, I look pissed, but I wasn't pissed, but I did think it was funny.
It turns out Jacob was recording video of his wedding the entire time he had them on, a standard feature on the Apple Vision Pro.
It's actually kind of nice. We have like a video now from my perspective of like the tail end of our wedding day. That's an immersive experience that like we'll have forever.
Talk about a special delivery. The challenge, dash to the mailbox and race back to the boat before it pulls away. Each year, a bunch of high school seniors try out as mail jumpers here on Wisconsin's Lake Geneva. And it may be the best summer job ever. Safety is a priority. Each tryout is required to wear a life vest. The boat slows down but never stops, so they have to be quick. Oh no, 18-year-old Lexi is stranded. Now it's Ava's turn.
I'm just a little nervous. No pressure.
Ava makes the leap. Timing is everything. Oh boy, that was close. Back to Lexi. She's ready to give it another go. She hits the deck hard. Not to worry, a little bruised, but A-okay.
Officials in Minnesota say strong wind pushed a hot air balloon into a power line over a highway. That caused a visible spark, and the balloon separated from the basket, which fell to the ground. Officials say 3 people in the basket were not injured. The FAA and NTSB are investigating the incident.
Take a look at this. There is something trapped inside that barn, and a tractor is about to lift the whole thing to get it out. And that's what it is, a big giant bull. Not quite sure how he got in there.
When I joined the CIA, it's like you walk in the door and it shuts behind you. And your friends basically can't know where you went. They can't know where you are. They certainly can't know what you do.
For 27 years, John Mendez had one of the most dangerous jobs on the planet, serving as a CIA agent.
I came in a side door at CIA as a wife. I married a CIA officer. I went to my dream assignment as a disguise officer, and then went home, and they made me deputy, and after a while they made me chief. Cameras that looked like anything but a camera, and we put them in places like buttons on overcoats. We put them in cigarette packages. We put them in your watch. We put them in your ring. We put them in your belt. Put them in your briefcase. Put them in your purse. Put them in your glasses. And then anywhere, everywhere, because they were little. They could just go anywhere. I get goosebumps thinking about where cameras could be today.
Ramadan commemorates the month when Muslims believe the words of the Quran, the Islamic holy scriptures, were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad. It's a time when many Muslims choose to fast during daylight hours. How can people who are not Muslims support their friends and co-workers during the month of Ramadan? Start by saying Ramadan Mubarak or Ramadan Kareem, seasonal greetings that wish someone a blessed or generous Ramadan. Or if that's uncomfortable, try Happy Holidays. According to the Council on American Islamic Relations, look out for students or employees who may feel a little drained while fasting. Schedule meetings that do not revolve around food. Have a comfortable, safe area available for midday prayers. Dakari is the newest Cape porcupine to join the prickle. That's the term for a group of porcupines at England's Whipsnade Zoo. At just 3 weeks old, Dakari is being cared for by mom, Kemya, as well as zookeepers. Though not endangered, experts say humans are destroying the porcupine's natural habitat.
A mom calls 911 after her adorable 3-year-old daughter wandered into this massive cornfield. Timberland Merritt is a busy stay-at-home mom. Her 3-year-old daughter Remy is always on the go, and never far behind, her 1-year-old Yorkie named Heath. At around 8 p.m. at night, Timberland left Remy on the swing set for just a minute. When she came back out, Remy was gone, and so was Heath. Their home borders this huge cornfield in Culin, Missouri. Her mom called 911.
And we can't find her anywhere.
More than 100 people joined in the search, combing through the 8-foot-high corn stalks. But Remy was not alone. Her dog Heath never left her side. Then at 8 a.m. the next day, after 12 long hours searching, rescuers came across an amazing sight. Little Remy was fast asleep, and Heath was right by her side. An overjoyed mom was reunited after a harrowing ordeal.
What is Inside Edition? It's this. And this. And this. And also this. It's sometimes this. It's never this. But it always brings you more to the story. And now it's always available. Inside Edition streaming.
Mexico is so close to the U.S., and you think it's close, it's safe, it's fun.
Justin Rayford and boyfriend Jared Hill are dealing with the aftermath of a nightmare scenario they endured on vacation in Mexico.
It was my birthday. We, decided to go to Tulum. He was like, let's go jump around in the ocean and play around the ocean. And we were just jumping around in waves. I turned around and saw a bigger wave come and get him, and it crashed him into the bottom of the ocean. And then I saw him not come up, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And he was under the water because he was fully paralyzed. So I asked one of the people blocking Jared, I said, can you please call an ambulance? And he pulled his phone out, and the manager told him, no. And so he put his phone away. So I was like, something is up. His neck is just shattered. They were like, he has to go into surgery right away. This is life-threatening. It's next to your brain, and this could kill you. One little incident happens and your whole life is upside down and you can't get help.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
This soldier is about to surprise her grandma. The door is unlocked.
Hi.
Looks like grandma needs to go on another coffee run.
Emily Paul was 14 when she vanished in 2013 from her home outside Tallahassee, Florida. Then 3 weeks ago, out of the blue, a letter arrived addressed to Emily's mother.
In the letter, she basically said, yeah, I'm okay, I'm 19, I'm safe, I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm where I want to be.
Police Captain Jason Daffin posted this message on social media asking Emily to come forward so they could be sure the letter was legit. To everyone's surprise, Emily walked into a local police station and asked to speak to a detective.
Her remarks to him was that she was happy, she's fine where she's at, and that she had a good support system.
But there's a heartbreaking twist. Emily doesn't want her family to know her whereabouts. What do you think it's going to take to get Emily to come home?
I have no idea what it could take to get her to come home. I'm just hoping one day that she'll want to come back into all of our lives and be a part of it again.
It may be the most poorly designed house in America. So can you spot the problem? It's a head scratcher. See it yet? It's the driveway. Look where it was paved. It leads right up to the windows? Whoops, the garage is on the other side of the house. How are you supposed to park your car in the garage? You'd have to drive over the curb and then over your own lawn. So how could somebody build such a boneheaded house?
I would tear it down.
We showed the photo to real estate agent Josh Flagg, co-host of $1 Million Listing on Bravo.
Nobody would ever build a home that way. I mean, it makes no sense. There's got to be a reason.
A perfect day at the playground. Then this. The cardigan-clutching cutie gets the scare of her little life. It's just an image of a giant ant, but it really does look scary.
This isn't a python, but you still wouldn't want it in your car. Florida's Lee County Sheriff's Office was told there was a 15 to 20-foot python curled up in a car's engine compartment. The deputy who responded happens to be a state-licensed python contractor. He determined it was a much smaller red rat snake that was soaking in the heat under the hood. Authorities say the red rat snake was safely removed and released in a wooded area.
It's the surprising Price is Right mistake that everyone is talking about.
$19,849. $19,849. Go ahead, Manuela.
Boom. No.
Oh, is right. Model Manuela Arbeles accidentally revealed the winning price before the contestant could make her second guess.
I was mortified because I thought this is my last day at work. B, it's gonna get taken out of my paycheck every week.
Congratulations, Manuela just gave you a car.
When someone loses, our natural reaction is to reveal the remaining tag. I obviously made a very expensive mistake, but I made someone very happy.
And did she get in trouble?
Drew could have not been more supportive. Same with the producers. They came up to me and they loved it. They thought it was the funniest moment.
This disturbing image was posted on a Facebook page called Flomo Clown, along with messages telling school students, "We want to play, see you at school," and "It's going down tonight." It's the latest in a spate of incidents across America in which creepy clowns are terrifying whole communities. What is it about clowns that can send a shiver of fear down the spines of so many people? Watch what happens when this clown visits Elvis Duran's radio studio. A DJ freaks out.
In our studio.
The scariest clown of all has to be Pennywise from Stephen King's It.
You all taste so much better when you're afraid.
Now, these professional clowns say the reports are deeply upsetting and hurting their business.
It does make the job a bit harder.
What the heck? It's a woman in a giant fox head, and she's feeding an orphaned baby fox called a kit. It may look kind of silly, but the folks taking turns feeding the little one say it's saving her life.
I think the most obvious question is why?
Wearing a fox mask, while her vision when she first opens her eyes isn't going to be fully developed, she'll see an outline, and I want that outline and that fuzzy picture to be a fox. We don't want the first thing that they see in this world to be a human. I don't talk to her. I want her to hear nature sounds, and thankfully we've been able to find other fox kits, so she's going to be able to have her little conversations with other fox kits soon.
Just don't let the baby see it's a human under the mask.
A rocket explodes within seconds of taking off. This was the incredible scene from above in Japan. The explosion then caused a fire. Firefighters were quick to douse the flames. The rocket was attempting to be the first sent into orbit by a private company. Space One, who built the rocket, did not respond to questions about the explosion. The launch of this rocket had previously been delayed a few times after a ship was spotted in what's called a risk area. Aside from the fire, there were no other reports of injuries or damage, but it's a frightening reminder of some of the dangers around space exploration.
A death-defying stunt needed a drone to capture it in action. A professional snowboarder jumped and flipped over the Eastern Express in Turkey. The 25-hour train ride supposedly boasts incredible views, but this performance was a bonus. Amateur snowboarders, do not try this with your local trains.
A little boy is having a superhero-themed birthday party. Dad is Captain America and Mom's Wonder Woman. But where's Spider-Man?
Would he be up in a tree or something?
Yes, he is.
Come on down, man.
Oops, looks like Spidey needs a safety net.
I knew that might happen.
That's your handwriting.
That's my handwriting?
Yeah.
It was a surprise for this teacher when his student showed him her new tattoo. Written on her arm says, "Be fearless in life."
That's gonna make me cry.
Why?
Because that's awesome. That's so cool.
Don't cry.
Is that fake?
No, it's not fake. That's actually your handwriting.
If I had known you were gonna get this tattooed on your body, I would have written it like in
I
perfect
didn't.
handwriting.
I wasn't gonna tell you I was getting a tattoo. That would ruin the surprise.
My heart. Don't.
What?
Don't Don't do that to me.
Why?
That's so cool.
Don't cry.
It's a happy cry.
The Texas-based student Hannah says she was going through a hard time and he was there for her. And that's why she wanted the inspirational message with her forever.
Powerful stories. Impactful investigations.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times. Yeah.
What?
And a little bit of fun.
Your spear's in the pool!
On Inside Edition streaming.
Hey, Inside Edition. Welcome to our designer dorm room.
This may be the most elegant dorm room you've ever seen. It's on the campus of Southern Methodist University in Dallas.
This is not your typical dorm room. We wanted our dorm room to be 3 things: stylish, functional, and comfortable.
Freshmen Meredith Wellborn and Sarah Hooten, both from Nashville, meticulously planned their decor before school started. The bedding, featuring soft colors, gives the room a luxurious feel. There's even monogrammed pillows. The beds are raised to accommodate storage containers.
So we have extra drawers for all of our clothes, and we can hide our not so pretty parts of the room with bed curtains.
The centerpiece of the room, a liquor cart turned into a coffee bar. And flowy curtains cover the windows.
Any college student can get this. It's easy with some planning. It's affordable. You can find great pieces no matter where you live.
They may never want to come home.
A train conductor spots an abandoned duffel bag. Poking through it, he gets the shock of a lifetime.
Looking through it, I was looking for a wallet or some form of identification, and I found some envelopes that contained a large amount of cash.
Large? You can say that again. $30,000, all in crisp $100 bills, neatly stacked in white envelopes.
The commuter simply forgot to take the duffel bag filled with cash when she got off the train. Amazingly, it rode the train by itself all the way to the final stop for over an hour.
And lucky for her, conductor Christopher Nocito of the Long Island Railroad did the right thing. He turned the duffel bag over to police. They found contact information for the owner and returned the money.
$30,000, that is a lot of money. Was there any part of you that thought, oh, I could take this home?
No. Customer service is the most important thing, so getting it back to them was my first instinct.
With traffic whipping by, a trooper from the Ohio State Highway Patrol rescued an injured hawk. To reduce the bird of prey's fear response, the trooper blocked the hawk's eyesight with a jacket. Officials say the hawk was taken to the Birds of Flight Sanctuary for treatment.
It's the heart-stopping moment. A trooper runs for his life as a truck driver nearly runs him over. It happened in Idaho. The trooper had set up flares, lights, and arrows on the interstate, but the driver reportedly wasn't paying attention, and this dashcam video shows the truck swerving around to avoid hitting the police car. What a close call. It's the heart-stopping video of a truck nearly hitting 2 people on the road. You can see one man waving frantically at the semi to warn the driver that a black car was broken down blocking the lane along a highway in Utah. The truck avoids hitting the car but practically runs over 2 people on the side of the road.
This dog is being watched on a puppy cam as she rummages around the kitchen looking for food. What delicious munchies did she find?
Hey, you put that down! Put it down! Drop it! Drop it!
Come home now, Mom and Dad, or else.
The horse is having some fun with a leaf blower. Hey, Wilbur, nice jumpers.
Emergency detection situation.
New Zealand journalist Hilary Barry, not to be confused with actress Halle Berry, cracks up hysterically while reading a serious news story live on air.
He said he'd had an emergency defecation situation and needed to use her bathroom, but the judge in the case found he had a sexual motive.
An emergency deprecation situation.
Yeah, just as you
I'm
would.
having one myself. Today could be the day I lose my job.
A new biopic opens this week about Frances Cabrini. But who was she?
Mother Cabrini was the first citizen of the United States to be proclaimed a saint. Mother Cabrini is the patron saint of immigrants. Mother Cabrini, over the course of 34 years, opened 67 different institutions. By that I mean schools, orphanages, hospitals. All of these orphanages and schools had business contracts. She knew how to read a contract, and we're talking an age when women were not doing that. She was focused on solving problems. She honored the humanity of every single person that she met. She cared about the humanity of every person she met. She was a tremendous fighter for social justice. What everyone can learn from her is that you start with love. You start with how you think people should be treated. You start with what you know people need, and then live every day trying to make it better.
My gift is that I can inspire people through exercise. Go on now, earn it!
Javino McLean owns a gym in Manchester, England, where he trains elderly people and people with disabilities, and he charges nothing.
Since I was 16, I've trained disabled people free of charge, elderly people as well.
There's a sweet reason for why he does this.
When I see people who aren't receiving love, that's when I've got a problem with injustice. When people are getting treated and patronised and treated a certain way, I have to intervene. It's emotional, man. It gets heartbreaking. A lot of people are going through pain, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, so many different kinds of cancers, dementia, Parkinson's. I've come across so many. I've seen miracles happen. As humans, we all deserve to be happy, man. You can't ever lose hope. You got to protect your heart. That could change the whole dynamic of your life. I'm just saying, just keep looking. Please don't give up.
On top of the grieving, we also had a lot of shock and a lot of, terror and anxiety that followed us forever.
Andrea Lott Haney has lived through losing not one, but two husbands. It's left her with unimaginable grief. Her first love was Gary.
I heard Gary kind of doze off during a commercial. When the commercial came back on, I was like, hey, babe, wake up, it's back on. And he didn't wake up.
Her second husband was named Brian.
He ended up getting his stage 4 pancreatic cancer diagnosis on August 5th of 2022, and he died 9 weeks later on October 9th, 2022.
Andrea continues to grieve both loves.
The pain is still there. It's always there. It does not go away.
Kaylin Phillips had no idea the creature from the sea she and her friends were passing around on a beach in Bali is one of the deadliest on the planet.
I posted the picture and I got a couple comments like, hey, do you know that this is the blue ring octopus?
She found out it was, in fact, a blue-ringed octopus with enough poison to kill more than 20 people.
She's very lucky that nothing happened to her. These tiny little golf ball sized octopus pack a heck of a punch. In fact, some studies say that it's 1,000 times more potent than cyanide, their venom.
Kaylin, who lives in Virginia, says she was panicked because you can't feel their bite, so she wouldn't have known she'd been poisoned until it was too late.
If you're bitten, there's no immediate sign until you basically drop dead. They have a neurotoxic venom that will paralyze you, and essentially what it does is it shuts down your lungs from breathing.
Powerful stories that change the way you think. Impactful investigations that change the way you see.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times.
Yeah.
What?
Do you think that you're a responsible owner of tigers?
I damn sure do.
Heartwarming moments that change the way you feel.
I feel amazing.
Now available in a place that changes the way you watch TV. Inside Edition, streaming.